I think we all remember this snowflake, once again going to beguile us with hearsay tales about misogynistic experiences throughout her life that are 100% true, and if you suggest otherwise, that's rape.
I'm 14 years old and walking home from school. The older boys drive by and honk at me. They stick their fingers out the window to show what they could do to me.
I hate to break it to you, sweetheart, but I think they were just swearing at you.
I turn my music up and my head down.
Oh yeah, real way to be empowered. Shy away from the bullies. Good job. You might have only been 14, but we've all been in fights at 14. Stand up for yourself.
I'm 15 years old and at my friend's house. We're Snapchatting another friend of hers, and he asks me, "What'd that mouth do?"
That mouth spew feminist bullshit. Is that not obvious? So let me get this straight. You take every little word some arsehole says to you and treat it as if all men or society as a whole shares the exact same attitude. I mean, you might not have reached this epiphany yet as you're just a kid yourself, but let's just hope, really hope your head comes out of your ass sooner rather than later.
I don't want to meet her other friends anymore.
No, because you're attention-seeking, pretending to be introverted for sympathy. Or at least that'd be my guess. I don't like it when people look at me or make comments on me, but I gotta put myself out there on YouTube anyway, because that makes total fucking sense.
I'm 16 years old and walking out of McDonald's. Hey, mamacita. The group of guys is too big to identify the one who spoke to me.
Are you hard of hearing, short-sighted, or just too stupid to keep track of one person in a group? Or is this a conveniently made-up story to paint men in a bad light? Grown up in an age of camera phones, and given that everything that's apparently happened to you and has been said, it strikes me as odd that you haven't caught one single event of it on camera. I find that interesting.
The one who felt he was entitled to call out to me to mime sex, to take the size of my lips as a synonym for promiscuity.
Freedom of speech allows him to say what he likes, but you must be an extremely fragile, delicate little girl who requires extra protection from the world around you. You obviously can't look after yourself in this big bad world, so good job on dismantling that idea of girls being delicate little flowers.
I'm 16 years old and in gym class. Smile, says my teacher. It'll make people sad when you don't.
I don't see the relevance. I assume there's more to this.
I look at him in disgust and I tell him that's just my face, because I am angry.
Well, perhaps if you didn't look at your teacher in disgust, he wouldn't make you, how did you put it, feel sad? Being generally angry and angsty is no reason to act out in school. If you can't control your emotions, you're in for some tough times. Mostly breaking down in tears by the sounds of it, but still.
I can't escape the catcalls even in the classroom, and these words may seem innocent, but they are not.
Well, of course they're not innocent, but they are in fact just words. There's only so much damage words can do to you, and quite frankly, there's no chance you're the hottest girl in your class, so I find it very hard to believe that you get catcalled.
You are not entitled to my body. It is not my job to look nice to you. It is not my duty to make people happy.
No, it's not your job to look nice. Yet, given the premise of your questionable stories, I'll assume you go out of your way to look nice, thus inviting catcalls, so you complain about having to look nice, and then complain about the attention you get for looking nice. You see the problem here, don't you? Ah, who am I kidding? Of course you don't. I tell you what, just look like shit and everything will be fine. It'll also keep you out of the gene pool.
No matter how good your intentions are, no matter how bad, you cannot tell me what to do with my body, because it is not and never will be your property.
You say that, you could go on a holiday to Saudi Arabia, get captured and sold into slavery. I could then technically buy you. With enough coincidences, you could end up being my property. Wouldn't happen though, I'd buy a pretty slave.
And to the good guy. You call yourself a feminist, you know catcalling is wrong, but...
Yeah, I'd say I'm a decent guy. Bit of a cunt, but I'm definitely not a feminist. And believe it or not, some women actually enjoy being catcalled, especially after a few drinks, and they're obviously out for a good time, and they're there for the attention. They like the attention. You can usually tell they enjoy it by all the whooping and stuff that they do.
Yet you think it's okay. You think telling me to smile is okay because it's not about my body. It's not meant to objectify me.
I don't give a fuck if you ever smile again. Go through life being the most miserable bitch that's ever scorned the earth. There's no skin off my nose. I mean, I don't know you, and frankly, I don't care to.
If it is not meant to objectify me, then why does it turn me into an object?
I think we've got a hat trick on full retard videos. You think somebody telling you to smile turns you into a fucking object? Are you serious? No. Someone who I assume is a beta desperate enough to keep you as a friend might tell you to smile because smiling on a regular basis can actually improve your mood. And a sour bitch like you needs all the help she can get. I'll leave a link in the description below to an article about how smiling can actually improve your mood. I imagine though you want to maintain this edgy, semi-depressed depression vibe you've got going on. Actually being happy might ruin that for you.
A face with no dimension, meant to only sit and smile, meant to be fucked, meant to thank you for your comments, meant to be quiet and to smile.
Jesus, do you kiss your mother with that mouth? I don't know what kind of BDSM erotica you've been reading as a manual for relationships, sweetheart, but you are way off the mark on this point. If you genuinely think that's what sex and relationships is, then become a prostitute. It's good money and you don't even have to smile.
You don't understand. Because you've never felt dirty for walking down the road in a skirt.
If that makes you feel dirty, simply walking down the road in a skirt getting catcalled, then God forbid something traumatic actually happens to you. Like, for example, if you ever got raped, that would break you. If this is how you react to words and crude compliments, then when life does throw up an obstacle by the death of a family member or a close friend, it's gonna fucking tear you to shreds. Maybe on that day you'll realise what a fragile little wuss you've been all these years.
Because you've never been scared by a group of men in public who think you have a great ass and want to tell you about it.
Oh yeah, in the broad daylight with a group of people around, you're in real danger there. Even if some asshole did try something, half the guys there would come to your defence.
Because you've never felt violated by your teacher when they made what they thought was an innocent comment because you don't know.
Some context here would be nice, but I assume this horrible comment was something innocent like, why aren't you wearing the correct uniform?
You don't know what it's like to want to wash these words away as if it's your fault, but they cannot be scrubbed off and you don't know what it's like and you might be a good guy.
And who the fuck are you to presume that I haven't gone through my own personal hardships? Things that would put your pathetic little rant to shame. Things that I imagine you haven't even had nightmares about. Because believe me, girl, I've had my share of shit in this life, and if you'd suffered the same, you'd either be a broken mess or not complaining about trivial, stupid nonsense like this. You disgust me. Now, I think I should leave the video there before I say something unpleasant. So, lovely viewers, what pathetically trivial things do you think could give this delicate little snowflake PTSD? I'll put the answers that make me laugh the most at the end of my next video. And as always, thank you for your time.